Hi, I'm Chloe DeWinter from Go Chlo Pilates, and I'm so excited to be here with Well+Good's Trainer of the Month Club. Today, I'm going to take you through a knee-friendly Pilates class. So no squats, nothing that could possibly hurt your knees. It's going to be all down on the mat and feel really good, but also build lots of strength for your knees. It's going to be great. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the Well+Good channel and let's get started. We're going to begin with one of my favorite exercises, and that is clams. So come and lay down onto your side. Extend that bottom arm away from you so you can rest your head down. You can also use a pillow or a block or anything like that. Slide back so you're on the back edge of your mat, and then bend the knees and slide the feet back also to the back edge of the mat. So your head, shoulders, hips, ankles are all in one long line. Stack those hips. Think about lifting up through the low waist away from the mat, and then just do a little lift and lower of that top knee up and down. Now I want you to really squeeze your heels together, like you're pinching them together as tight as you can. And then take this top hand onto the top hip as you do this, and make sure you're not feeling any movement here. You should feel like that top hip sits on top of the bottom hip, and we're not rolling the body back as we lift and lower that leg. That way, we're gonna really work into the muscles of the hip. Now the glute muscles all around the hip help support those knee joints. So strong glutes means supported knees. It means that you're more supported when you walk, when you run, and just when you stand as well. Plus, you'll really feel the burn, as always. If you feel any tightness through the top shoulder, just rest that top hand down. That's totally fine. Otherwise, keep the hand on the hip. Let's go for 4 more like this. Hopefully you're starting to feel something, but also we're just beginning. 1 more. Drop the knee, lift both of the feet up now. Keep the heels squeezing together and lift and lower from there. So same movement, that same external rotation movement that we were just doing, but this time it should feel a little bit more satisfying because you get a bit more range of motion as you do this part of it. Lower and lift, good. Keep the pelvis stacked. If you can as well, think about a little bit of core activation. It's really gonna help you get the most out of the exercise. So think about a gentle hugging in of your belly button in towards your spine. That activation is gonna help you get more in those glutes. If you're gonna take breaks, take them, they're always there for you. But otherwise, we'll be here for 5 more, and 4, and 3, and 2, 1 more. Lift it up, hold it there. Keep the thigh frozen in place where it is. Kick that top leg out, bend the knee, draw the heels together, and then lower the knee, the knees draw together. So it's like 4 parts. We lift, we kick, we bend, we lower. Lift, kick, bend, lower. And then keep working through that. That kick is sort of out on an angle. We hold the thigh still as we kick the lower half out and then bring it all back in. That's it. Building strength through the leg, through the muscles in the outside of the hip. That's it. Give me 5 more like this for 4 and 3. Last 2, stay with me. Last 1, lift, kick, bend, lower, drop everything down. You can give it like a little punch out if you need, whatever you need, and then just roll yourself over onto your back. Place your feet down flat. Think about your feet being hip width distance apart, and then raise your arms up towards the sky. Press down through both of the feet and lift your hips up into a bridge. So hips lifted, think about tucking your tailbone under, drawing the ribs in, belly button draws into spine, and then drop the hips straight back down. We're just gonna lift and lower. Lift and lower. So now we're gonna work into the backs of the legs and the backs of the hips. So our glute muscles and our hamstring muscles, the back of the thighs. Really important muscles to really strengthen. Again, good for your knees. You really need strong support in all the muscles around the joints so that they're really supported. So if we're working on those knee joints, you wanna build strength through your quads, through your hamstrings, through your glutes, through your calves, all the muscles around the knees, and that's what we're doing now. Think about driving through all the different parts of your feet. So really connect down into the mat beneath you. Press through your heels like you're trying to dig a hole through the floor beneath you with your heels, but then also press through the balls of your feet, the inner edges, the outer edges, even press through the toes. Really feel that connection of the mat beneath you. And don't forget to breathe, of course. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Relax the muscles around your face. Close your eyes. Relax the body. Breathe. Stay with me. We're having fun, right? We're here. Stay with me just for 3. And 2. And 1. Lift it up. All right, we're going to do a pulse halfway down, all the way up. Halfway down, all the way up. If you feel any discomfort in your low back, really take a moment to scoop that tailbone under a little bit more and don't come as high. You don't need to come super high in a shoulder bridge, in a bridge exercise like this. It's not about the height that you lift, it's about really getting the muscles to activate and fire up. Still with that breath. As this exercise starts to become easy over time, when you practice it more and more, you can challenge yourself by adding things like a resistance band around the knees or a ball or a magic circle between the knees. Really makes it extra spicy. Give me 4 more. And 3. And 2, hold it up there on 1. Freeze, lift your heels like you're in a high heel and then drop the heels back down. Lift and lower. If it feels like your feet are too far away, just walk them in a little closer towards your butt and then keep going from there. Lift up as high as you can onto those toes, onto the balls of your feet. Now we're strengthening into our calf muscles as well, which support the backs of the legs, backs of the knees. Relax the shoulders into the mat a little further. Relax the muscles around your face. That's it. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Good. And lift. Stay with me. Good. For 5. And 4. And 3. And 2. On this next one, lift up and hold it up there. And just do a tiny little pulse down and up of the hips. Down, up, down, up. Press into your big toes a little more as you do this. That's it. Keep going, keep going. Little movements for 5, 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Drop the hips all the way down. Just take a little rock of the knees left to right just to loosen out a little bit, and then flatten the feet back down onto the mat. This time bend your elbows so your elbows press down into the mat beneath you, head is relaxed. Press the hips up, find a bridge. We're gonna find a little march next. What I want you to do is shift the weight into your left foot and really dig down into that foot. Like again, you're drilling a hole through the floor with that foot, and then keeping the hips really level. You might even want to place the hands on the hips. You're gonna float the right leg to a tabletop position. Now hold it there for a moment. What wants to happen is the right hip wants to drop down, but you're not gonna let it, are you? Lift that right hip up so the hips are level, and then with control, place the right foot down. We're gonna shift it to the other side. Weight in that right leg, really control it, float the left leg up into tabletop. Hold it for a moment, feel the hips level out a little more, and then place it down. And then you're gonna keep going at your own pace. We're gonna breathe out, leg to tabletop. Breathe in, place it down. Switch other side, exhale and inhale. Take the hands to the front of the pelvis for a moment if you haven't already, and make sure those hips are not rocking side to side. You're really controlling the movement. You're steady through the hips and steady through the pelvis. And down. And if you want more of a challenge here, take those arms, reach them up towards the sky, and keep going side to side. If this is too challenging for you, you can go back to those double leg bridges that we were doing before. But this is a great one to build on that strength. Stay with me, stay with me. And lower. We lift and lower. Keep it going, keep it going. We're here for 10. With me. 9. Relax the face. 8. Steady through the pelvis. 7. And 6. Last 5. Relax the face. For 4. Make sure you're breathing. And 3. And 2. And 1. Place both feet down. Just give me 10 little pulses of those hips up. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll all the way down. Hug those knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Just rock from side to side. And then start to rock up and down. We are gonna rock all the way up. Spin yourself around and come lay down onto your other side for our clams. Bring yourself down, line yourself up again with the back edge of your mat. So shuffle back a little, and then use that as a guide. Slide the feet back as well to the back edge of the mat. Top hand onto the hip, lengthen the hip away, belly to spine, squeeze the heels together. And when you're ready, we clam away. Lift up
that top knee and lower it down with control. Lift and lower. That's it. It's a small movement, especially if you've got tight hips. So if you're quite stiff and tight in the hips, it might not feel like a big movement. Don't worry about it too much. What you're doing is moving within your range of motion, whatever that range of motion is, but keeping that pelvis steady. Pelvis here, stay steady, but that hip in the socket, that hip joint spirals open. Think about this sort of suctioning in sensation, almost like the thigh is suctioning up and in towards the hip joint as you squeeze the heel together and spiral open that top knee. Again, if the shoulder's tight, take the arm down, that's fine. This one also, as you start to build strength in your clams, you can add a resistance band around the knees. It really, really burns. But if you try it, let me know. I'd love to hear how you go. Today we're going equipment free though. How are you feeling? Hopefully starting to feel a bit of that activation happening in the side and the back of that hip. Breathe, stay with me for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. All right, we lower the knee, we lift the heels up, lift those feet, hover them in the air, spiral open and lower down. So same thing, same movement, just a little bit more range. Find a little bit more fun because we get more movement, especially if you're one of those tight hip people. This one will be more fun for sure. Breathe out each time that leg lifts up. Breathe in each time it lowers. Keep the pelvis stacked. Good, you got it. If you can still maintain that gentle lift of the lower waist away from the mat, it might not be a physical lift, that's fine, but just sort of think about lifting up. So just so we're activating through the muscles in those lower obliques. That's it, lift and lower. Stay with me, squeeze the heels together even more. Try not to let that top hip roll back. You feel that hip, notice if it's rolling back. If anything, push it forward a little bit more, almost like you're blocking off that movement, making sure that the hips stay stacked for 3 more. And 2, on this next one, hold it open, hold it there. Kick the top leg out to straight, bend the knee, lower it all the way down. We lift, we kick, we bend, and lower. We lift, kick, bend, lower, and then stay with me just like that. That's the rhythm. Stay with me, that's it. Good, hold that thigh in place as you kick and as you bend. Think about spiraling open towards the ceiling as high as you can without rolling that top hip back. So hips still stay stacked and all that movement is coming from the power and the strength in your glute muscles. Can you stay with me for 4 and 3 and 2? Can you stay with me? 1 more, make it a good one. Bend it in and lower all the way down. Nice job. Give it a little punch out if it needs, whatever it needs, and then roll yourself over again onto your back. If you want to give those knees a little rock side to side, go for it. But we're going to come into a bit of core abdominal work next. So on your back, knees bent, feet flat. You want to find a neutral spine. So just a little bit of space between your low back and the mat beneath you. Find your hands, interlace your fingers behind the head with the thumbs pointing down the back of the neck with a little lift of those elbows, just a little one, and a little tuck of the chin. Curl up that head and chest away from the mat and then lower straight back down. Breathe out to curl, breathing in to lower. Now I want you to make sure the head is supported here. This isn't a neck exercise. I want you to really feel like it's an abdominal exercise. That's what it is. So hands really firmly press into the head here so it's really nice and supported. And use the breath as well. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Let's lift the heels up so you're just on the toes, but they're still down on the mat. Making sure that you still just have that little bit of space between the low back and the mat. And then actively think about drawing your belly button in towards your spine to activate deeply into those abdominals as you do this. You should also just be able to see those elbows in your peripheral vision. That's just gonna help as well with the position of the neck. All right, give me 2 more like this. and 1. And then we're gonna add a little march. Next time you curl up, float the left leg up into a tabletop, place that left foot down, toes down, and then as you curl up next time, right leg lifts towards the chest, and then place it down. So we're just gonna alternate through those legs, still curling straight up off the mat and lowering down, but with that march, just bringing a little bit more and building on that abdominal connection. And down, lift and down. Can you soften the shoulders a bit? A little bit of space between the chin and the chest, like you've got a little peach underneath your chin. You don't want to squish it. You don't want it to roll away. Just keep that little bit of space. That's it. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. All right, we're here just for 4 more. And 3, and 2, and 1. Drop it down. Pull the knees to the chest, give them a little squeeze, a little hug, a little release. When you're ready, place those feet back down. Again, lift up those heels, hands behind the head. This time we're gonna do exactly the same thing. We're gonna add a twist. You're gonna lift and twist to the left, float your left leg to tabletop. That right elbow reaches up and across. Place it down, come back to the center and lower. Switch it over, other side. Come to the center and lower. And down. We twist. And down. So a little bit of oblique work now, the muscles in the side of your body, the side of your trunk, we call it. And down. Can you twist across even further as you come up, lifting those shoulder blades right up off the mat beneath you, even higher. I want both of them off the mat rather than just a roll. Lift. That's it. And twist. And twist. The next time you come to the left, hold it there. Kick your right leg away from you, long and straight. Point the toes. We're gonna twist to the right. Extend the left leg away from you. Twist to the left. Right leg kicks away, and then switch. And switch. And switch. Maybe even take your elbow to tap the knee. Makes it, again, a bit more satisfying, I think. And we're here all together. Stay with me for 10, for 9, for 8, for 7, curl a little higher, 6, stay with me. 5, 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Give yourself a big squeeze, a big hug. This time, rock the knees from left to right, really pressing your lower back down into the mat beneath you. And then we're gonna roll the body up and down the length of your spine, like you're rolling like a little ball. One more time like that until you come up into a seated position. We're gonna finish with a little bit of upper body. So we're really targeting the whole body today. Hands are gonna come behind your back. Now, ideally we want the fingers to face in towards your body. Open the feet out a little wider than hip width distance apart. Press down through the hands and then lift your hips into like a little mini bridge, it's like a seated bridge position. Now, don't come too high, just go like somewhere in between, in the middle of that. And then your elbows are gonna point back. You're gonna lower the butt down towards the mat and lift all the way up. So it's a tricep lower. We lower and we lift. We lower and we lift. Now, a big challenge here is keeping the shoulders away from the ears. So keep thinking about pressing your shoulders down and your chest stays really open, proudly pointing forward. Press down through those feet. Keep those hips lifted, elbows point back. This can be like the tiniest little movement. It's still gonna work, I promise. Doesn't need to be big. But if you can stay with me, we're here for 10. Lift, 9, lift, 8, 7, shoulders down, 6, we're almost there. 4, 5, and 4, last 3, last 2, give me 1 more, lift it all the way up and take a seat. From here, take your feet, we'll come into a quick butterfly stretch. Soles of the feet together, sit tall, pull those feet in nice and close towards you, and then lean the body forward. If your elbows can reach your inner thighs, just gently press down into those inner thighs to open out through the hips, and then let your head just fold forward. Allow your body to just melt forward. Should be feeling a nice opening through the hips. You might even feel it through the spine, through the low back, through the neck, through the shoulders. You're gonna feel it wherever your body needs it the most. Hold on to that, hold it there. And we're gonna be here just for 2 deep breaths. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a long, slow breath out through the mouth, let it go. One more time, deep breath in and out, let it go. Stay here if you've got a little bit longer. Otherwise, you can roll yourself all the way up. And thank you so much for joining me. My name is Chloe DeWinter from Go Chlo Pilates, and thank you so much for joining me today on the mat for Well+Good's Trainer of the Month Club. I hope you are feeling good. Remember to subscribe to the Well+Good YouTube channel if you haven't already for loads more workouts and tips and everything you need. And I'll see you on the mat next week. Can't wait. Bye.